Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis for big mega cap stocks. So show your support by hitting that thumbs up button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, consider subscribing, and that means a lot to me. And if you want to support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, and 3 days of live trading, check out the Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description. And now let's get right into it. On Tesla stock is up 2.12%, and you can see Tesla getting up to 194 on Friday, and you can see 194, that was a big support, and now that's gonna be a big resistance to watch on Tesla. This thing hitting 194, coming back and closing below 194, closing at 193.57. So going into next week, we also have CPI coming out, guys. So it's gonna be a jam-packed week, especially next week and starting Monday. On Tesla, you need to watch the support now. Down here, 189, and then blue line, 5-day moving average, 187.37. As long as I would say Tesla can hold here, 187.37 to 189, that is going to be a big support to watch, and we could see continuation to the upside. Tesla can move all the way up to 20-day moving average, 197.68 to even 200, and once we can clear 200, you're going to see Tesla going all the way up to 206.77 to close this gap on top, and possibly can run all the way up to 212. Now critical support on Tesla below 189, and then 187.37, right down here 180. And here's my X account, and if you're on there, definitely give me a follow, and there's no subscription, nothing you gotta go through. It's totally free, and I do share lots of information right here on X, including videos like this from today, and you can go and watch it right here, stock market update from today and what's going to happen in next few days. Now also plays like this one here, you can check it out right here on Broadcom. Friday we got in here at 9:34 a.m. and I called it right here for $1.96, and this thing was actually trading at 12.56 to 12.58. It was actually a gap down, so I was looking for it early in the morning, and soon as I saw that opportunity, got filled at $1.96, and quickly by 9:50 a.m. got up to $5 a piece. Now this was actually a smaller position, otherwise this would have been a big money maker. But also, I mean, it does not matter if the position is small or big, you still made money on it. And this was really fantastic because at the end, this thing actually going up to 12.85 in not only $5, the calls went up to $7-8 a piece from $1.96. So all these trade ideas, and especially a lot of people are also joining and supporting the channel and getting all these benefits. So if you want to, definitely check out that link down below in the description for Patreon, and I would really appreciate that. On Nvidia stock, it's up 3.58%, and they also have earnings coming this month, not next week. Next week we got CPI, and then we have big earnings from Nvidia, which is on 21st. So what's going to happen? I think this stock reaching to a level where we could see a blow off top right here on Nvidia, and this thing can definitely crash at least $100 to $150. Now, is that going to happen? Is there a guarantee? Absolutely not. But if you look at it, the way this thing moving up before earnings definitely is priced in, and we have seen that before on many other stocks. Earnings comes out, it does not matter if it's actually a good earnings or not, stock can actually sell off. So here on Nvidia, guys, watch out, especially this earnings coming not next week but the following week right here on Nvidia. Now also we talked about it in my video, especially in my last one, that watch out the next stop 715, because Bollinger Band on top expanded up to 715, and this Bollinger Band continues to expand, and now you can see right here 728. The stock got up to 721.85, another fresh new all-time high. So what's going to happen next week? Definitely now 715, that's going to become a strong support, and below that watch out for 708 and then 700 5-day moving average. And below that, we could see a dump possibly down to 675 and then 666 down to even 653.38 to the upside. As long as this thing can hold above 715, we could see continuation all the way up to 728 and then 745. And looks like, that upgrade on Nvidia stock 800, we could be going there the way this thing is moving. But at some point, like I said, you're going to see blow off top on Nvidia stock, and that is also coming very soon. On Meta, it's down 0.40%, and Meta got up to 473.59, and you can see 470, that is a big resistance right here. Multiple rejection, came back, and now holding above 5-day moving average right here, 464.37. So that's gonna be your line in the sand right here on Meta going into next week on Monday. And to the upside, Meta can break 470, then you're going to see a move all the way up to, especially right here to this high, 485.96, and then even 490. And now this thing can go up to 490. And why? Look at this Bollinger Band expanded all the way up to 488. So this thing will expand even more next week. And if this thing actually gets that breakout over 470, you're going to see continuation to the upside. Now to the downside, Meta breaks below right here, 5-day moving average 464.37. Then you're going to see a dump off down to 452. On Amazon stock, it's up 2.71%, and you can see right here this consolidation, and we talked about it also in my video that as long as Amazon can hold right here 167, you're going to see a move all the way up to 173, and above that, that's gonna be another breakout. And looks like Amazon got another breakout. Now it's trading above 173 right here and holding 173 into closing on Friday. And that means one thing, the next stop, we could see Amazon going all the way up to 180. I mean, look at this, guys, got up to 175. And now going into next week on Monday on a pullback, you want to watch 173, a big level of support on Amazon. And below that, you could see Amazon dropping down to 170.86, and then the big support right down here, 167. On Google, stock is up 2%, and the V shape already happening on Google in just a matter of 1 week. Now, people that are subscribed to my channel and watching my videos for maybe last few weeks, few months, and especially with this earnings, if you're watching my video, I called it right here that 140 or anything below 140, that's gonna be a great area to buy Google and especially play to the upside. And you can see why, because this thing came down to 140, went slightly under, look below, and then this thing went right back up. And you can see now V shape actually taking place right here, and it's almost there. The complete move from 140 or 138 now up to almost 151, only $2 away from closing this massive gap on top. Already closing half of the gap right here. So going into next week on Monday, I think Google can move higher up to this gap 152.78. That is possible. And now on a pullback, you want to watch 148. That's gonna be a strong support. Also align with this white line, 20-day moving average and 13-day moving average right here, 148. Below that, you're going to see a drop down to 145, and then we got some unfinished business down here. And I don't think Google coming down here before closing this gap on top. So I think, worst case scenario, if there is a sell-off, watch out for 148 down to 145, and that is it. But if this thing actually continues, you're going to see early as Monday, Google going up and closing this entire gap completely up to 152.78, and that's going to be a resistance to watch also on Google. On AMD, it's up 1.85%, and you can see Google actually wedging right here inside this wedge and just consolidating, and we could see a breakout or a breakdown early as next week on AMD. So what's it gonna be here on AMD? And if you look at my screen, it was holding this support right down here multiple times. Previous all-time highs 164 to 165, and if you caught this move, especially I called it out right here, and that was last week, this thing went back up to 175. Massive trade, because from 165 this thing moved $10 to the upside in just a matter of 2-3 days right here. Now going into next week, you want to watch the support right down here, and that is going to be around 170 rising 20-day moving average, and below that watch out for 164 to 165, a critical support on AMD. And that was that previous all-time highs right here. So far that's going to be a strong level on any pullback here on AMD stock. Now as long as AMD can hold 170, watch out for a breakout possibly above this high right here, which is around 180. And once we get that, AMD can move higher up to 184 and then even higher. So right now it's just wedging, and you can see it's getting really tight, and we could see a breakout or a breakdown anytime here on AMD stock. If this thing plays out to the upside, it needs to get over 180, and to the downside, this thing needs to get under 164, and then you're going to see a dump off down to 155, 153.64, lower Bollinger Band on this daily chart, and then this gap right down here, 148.75. On Netflix is up 0.5%, so this thing not really going anywhere, and more consolidation inside this bull flag. Now, is that going to actually play out? Well, a lot of things are playing out, especially to the upside right now. So here on Netflix, you need to watch especially 564. And you can see again on Friday got up to 566. Rejection came back and now trading at 561. Above 564, this thing can run easily up to 579.64, up to even 588. And look at this Bollinger Band on top, expanded all the way up to 611.49. So this thing actually gets that breakout from this bull flag. Definitely 600 possible on Netflix. Now to the downside, you can see 13-day moving average now actually moved up and is sitting right here at 560 to 25, and that's gonna be also a big level to watch. And so far it's kind of just holding right here inside this flag, but if this thing actually gives up and gets under bottom of this flag right here, which is around 555 to 552, then you're going to see a dump off down to 20-day moving average right here, which is rising also. That's gonna be a strong support, 535.46 and then 528. But I think as long as this stock can stay above 555 to 552, we got a shot, and this thing can actually play out to the upside all the way up to not only 588 to even 600. On Microsoft, it's up 1.56% and closing at a fresh new all-time high, and you can see 420.82 and now closing at 420.55. Now same thing goes right here. We talked about it before in my video that watch out, this thing can move up to 420, and the price target definitely was hit on Friday, 420 and some change, and now also holding 420 as a support. So going into next week on Microsoft, 420, that's gonna be a support, but you can see it's getting far too overextended, trading at least right here close to the Bollinger Band. And that means one thing, yes, we could see a pullback, and we can afford a pullback on Microsoft. And if this thing actually gets a pullback, what to look for? 413 definitely down here, this support, and below that you can see right here 5-day moving average 411.97. We also have support at 410, 407.85, rising 13-day moving average, this orange line, and then we also got support down here at 402, 20-day moving average, and then 400. Now if this thing actually gets down to 400 and takes out 400 at some point, that is going to be a big move. That is a $20 move to the downside, right? That is when you're going to see significant selling on Microsoft and some profit taking, and possibly you will see a correction here on the stock. But if this thing can stay above, I would say 413 right here, this previous all-time highs, as long as this thing can stay above 5-day moving average, which is at 411.97, this thing can push. And the next stop could be 432, which is going to be insane here on Microsoft, how overextended this stock is right now, and possibly can move even higher unless we get that correction early as next week, at least down to, I would say, 413 to 407.85. On Apple stock, it's up 0.41%, and you can see Apple cannot get that breakout right here at 190. And again, another rejection on Friday, got up to 190, came back to 188, strong support, went back up, and now trading in between 190 and 188, closing at 188.85. So going into next week, Apple can take out 190 and can hold 190 as a support, then you're going to see more upside up to 195 and then 196.58 right here to this high. Now to the downside, Apple takes out 188. Immediately you're going to see more selling down to 185 and then 183, possibly down to even 180. Now also going below 188, that's not going to be bullish for Apple. And why? Because Apple stock will be trading below all these moving averages right here. And that means one thing, if this thing gets under 188, definitely you're going to see a lot more selling on Apple unless we get that breakout early as next week right here above 190. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching.